Hi, I'm Gordy Gundaker. Welcome to the Dirt Parlor podcast.
Hi, I'm Don Martin. Welcome to the Dirt Parlor. And this thing is big.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of the Dirt Parlor. I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. Don Martin.
Thank you, Gordo.
We want to thank all of our great sponsors who make this possible. Steve Martin with Nutrient Ag, Jeff Hoker with Hoker Trucking, Bo Popejoy with Hot Rod Septic, Reed Millard with Millard Family Chapels, Bodies by Skinny, and Checker Custom Screen Printing and Embroidery. There's no need to wait on this one. We're going to go ahead and bring in our guest, the one and only big sexy Brandon Overton. So Brandon, we appreciate you joining us, and thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get right into it. You've been on the social media hot seat here recently over some stuff that happened down at Senoia, and obviously you've given a lot of interviews onto it, and everybody can try to read between the lines, but really I just kind of want to ask you, as a racer, I see it from a point of view, but kind of just talk us through exactly what you thought happened in that instance, and really what led to probably the overboiling, I guess, you kind of letting your, the fiery side come out of you.
Where the shit hit the fan, basically.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Like I honestly, we raced Friday night and we didn't do good. I pitted like 5 times. We sucked. You know what I mean? So, that's we pretty much know this is the end of our year, right? We got this in the dome left. So we sucked Friday, and Saturday we turned it around. We're up front doing good. And, we had that restart and I chose the bottom. I knew Bobby was in second. I was like, man, I was thinking, should I give him the bottom or whatever? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to choose the bottom. Don't do anything stupid. Cause like I knew all he had to do was just half-ass be near the front, so choose the bottom. We fire up and JD kind of comes down the hill, kind of checks me up a little bit. Bobby gets a good run. Like I don't even attempt to slide him. Like I just go in there, ease off, roll the middle, and trying to get enough speed to slide my way back into 3 to come back out in 3rd or whatever, So I felt like I leave him a lane. I don't do anything stupid. Like I don't crowd him at all, and then we go into 3, and it's hard to tell, like that video that they keep showing and everybody keeps that like I just drill him in the ass. Like it's hard to look at it. That's not the way it looks when you're in the car. Like we get to the back pit gate opening and he hangs a left. The reason he didn't keep coming is because I was there, So I don't know if he felt me a little bit and tries to get away, but it's already got me so crossed up. I'm sliding. I hit him in the left rear. You can't tell, you know how it is. Like it knocks the steering wheel around. I'm trying not to spin out. I fly up the hill. It looks like everybody says, it looks like I tried to spin him out. I didn't try to spin him out. I'm trying for me not to spin out. So I fly up the hill, get it all gathered back up, and I go into 1, and I'm kind of mad there because I'm like, what? Why in the fuck would you do that? Go into 1 and the tire goes flat and I smash it in the fence. And it hurts, you know what I mean? So I get it all calmed down. I halfway calmed down. I just want to get out because I see it. Like I can barely get out of my car. The left side is so smashed up. They push it down. I get out, and I was talking myself like, calm down. And then he comes driving by, and I'm like, why not? Just that's what I said. Like, I'm so mad and aggravated, and there's nothing against Bobby. Like, he just happened to crank that car up and drive by me, and I've had a shitty year, and just every bad night and everything that all
kind of came to an head. It came to a head.
Yeah, it was just all on my mind at that point. And he come driving by, I'm like, hell yeah, You know what I mean? Like, I know I shouldn't act like that, and I don't act like that, and I'm not proud I did that. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is, my emotions come out a little bit. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't put anybody in danger. You know what I mean? I was mad, so I slung my helmet. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. And then, like I said, I was going to the pits. I didn't think he would, again, I'd walk in the pits, and there he is again, Jack, and they're changing his tires. I'm like, well, I'd like to say something and finish getting it all out of my system. So then I say something, and I mean, he's got his helmet on. I'm not punching him. I'm not trying to beat him up. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to know I'm mad. Like, why would you don't be a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, you're good. Don't do that. I always say, you race people how you want to be raced, right? I don't think anybody that we race with can say, man, Brandon Overton's lined up beside me. He's probably going to smash me in the fence. You know what I mean? So why would you do anything? Like I said, I want everybody to race me hard. That's what we're doing. But don't do moves like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain if you don't race and you don't know what I'm feeling when we're in there. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff added up to that point. It wasn't just that time, and probably everybody forgot I was pretty fast at Knoxville, and Bobby missed the bottom and comes back down the hill, and I hit him in the left rear at Knoxville and flattened my tire, and it wiped that car out too. So that was twice. You know what I mean? It was twice. Just shit's adding up, man. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I just needed to get it out. Like 10 minutes after that, I'm at my trailer loading up, and I am totally fine. I'm happy. I felt so good to just get it all out.
You could breathe. You could breathe again.
Yeah, I felt good. I just could relax.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I think one of the hardest things for anybody who's never been in a dirt late model, especially in the last 5 years. It's hard for somebody to watch a video and tell a driver, oh, you should have done this, or how come you didn't just lift, or why didn't you hit the brakes and miss him? When you're going that fast, and especially, we talked about this with Dale McDowell earlier in the year. On restarts, you're going 150% on restarts because you get everything on those first lap or two of those restarts. So you're pushing harder, your tires are cooled off, all of these things are culminating. And so, that was what we talked about it last week on here, is really exactly what I said was, when you haven't been in that situation, and Senoia is as slick as it, is what I've heard. I've never raced on, but you can see it. When you get a little air off of you and you're a little sideways and you're in the brakes and you weren't expecting it, like there's not shit you can do in that moment except slide right up into them, right? And people think they put that on the guy who runs into them, and they don't understand that when that guy makes an evasive move like that and crosses you up and dirties your air, that shit's gonna happen after that. And I think it really screwed you because the camera doesn't catch the right front going flat going into one. It just catches you turned around like you just got pissed and fenced it. And so it really did you no due diligence at all. So you need to actually, what you probably need to do is call the guys at Flow, all the producers, and be like, hey, you guys are making me look like a fucking jackass out here, right?
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, when you watch the video, it looks like I hit him in the ass, and then it looks like, oh, he's mad. He was pissed. He overdrove it in the one because the cushion's right up against the wall. Yeah, he drove it right in the wall. Yeah, what a no driving ass. You know what I mean? I get it. Like, I see that side. I just, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be smarter than that. Like, for a fan, I mean, I don't know. I guess the fans, it's good to watch. I mean, they get to say what they want to say, but a lot of them just really doesn't understand. It's just like, okay, I wrecked. I was in probably fourth or fifth, right? After Bobby slid me or whatever happened, Bobby, whatever we did. I come out fourth or fifth. You mean to tell me Brandon Shepard don't know how to drive? I'm crashed. I'm sitting there. Why the hell did he hit me? You know what I mean? Like, you don't think he knows what the hell he's doing? You can't. When it's like that, the track, the way, especially like Senoia and the slicker places are, you can't stop them. You're just trying not to wreck. You know what I mean? So yeah, just a shitty deal. And like I said, it's nothing against Bobby. It's just he happened to be the one that did it that day. You know what I mean? And I was just aggravated. So he does got I'll tell you one thing. He's got a hell of a fan base, boy. He's got like a they're in my ass right now. So yeah, I see them, but. What do you do? It'll be all right.
Thank God it didn't happen in Illinois.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Might have actually worked out. Well,
it would have been better if it had been at Fairbury. You'd have probably had everybody had been on your side.
Yeah,
they
true.
Beat the shit out of him there.
Yeah, man, it's all right.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like you just mentioned. It was very uncharacteristic of Brandon Overton. I think some people, they expect to get a little bit upset. I mean, but when Brandon Overton gets a little upset, it kind of, it's one of those, what? I think of all people that when that happened, they wouldn't have thought that would have been you, And by the way, I got to tell you this. You got a strong arm. I mean, that was a hell of a toss, dude. That wasn't your typical toss, dude. That was a dart.
After all this has been, I was thinking like, good thing I didn't like miss or something, because they really would have been roasting my ass. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he can't drive and he can't throw. What the
hell? Shit. Well, we figured we better get that off, because I'm sure everybody at home, they're gonna see we got Brandon Overton. They're gonna wait for that. So we figured we'll get that right out of the way.
Yeah.
But let's go into obviously this year did not go the way you guys had planned it going, and you for one have been at the very top of this game. You've started all the way down, you've went up, you come back. You've rode this path. But talk about, for one, how hard it is. I don't know how many, you went from Wells to the Longhorn house car, and you're switching programs and trying to get up to speed. You got a new crew chief. Talk about how hard that is, on you, on your team, as everybody as a whole, when you're trying to build a notebook as a group and learn each other and learn what each other's likes. How difficult that can be, stepping into a completely new role that you've really never been in.
Yeah, that's another thing people don't understand. Like, what makes it really, really hard is when you put two people, like, obviously I've always worked on my car, right? I've always been in charge of setup, doing everything, like, you know what I mean? Like, I made all the decisions come down to me. Well, then you put me in an environment where, all right, Brandon, you just drive. You tell us if it's loose or tight, and you throw your 2 cents in there and you focus on driving, and we got you a badass crew chief. Well, my crew chief has had a lot of success with, a different driver. And obviously I don't drive just like he does or whatever. I don't want to feel what he wants to feel. So it's taken us a long time to try to get me comfortable. Like he can do the same things that he did with Ricky or Hud. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like shit. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm slow. I can't drive it. You know what I'm saying? And it's none of us are wrong or doing the wrong things. And then, like I said, so then we're struggling with that, trying to get us a baseline to get me comfortable. And, we had all the engine troubles, we're blowing up motors left and right, and things are happening, and that's adding to it, adding to the pressure. And then you get, I got all the, how you want to say it? I got all the smart people in my corner, right? So you got all the guys at Longhorn that know they've raced, have been successful. So then they start adding their 2 cents in. So then before you know it, we've got all these smart people trying to fix the problem. And it almost, not that it makes it worse, but it kind of does. Like, it gets us all where none of us feel like we know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Then we lose confidence. And then, it's just a snowball. You know what I mean? It's nobody's fault. It's just been, it's tough, man. And that's why I say, I don't think people understand. People look at it and say, he's got Anthony Burroughs, he's got Kevin Rumley, he's got Longhorn, he's got the best engines, he's got the most money, he's got the baddest shit you can get in, and he can't win. He sucks. But it's not. I've also won big races in the raggediest shit at the track. You know what I mean? So it's not that. It's just, for whatever reason, that's just how it goes. Like I said, if you sit down and you're going to build an all-star team, we got a badass crew chief. We have a great crew. Like, my crew busts their ass. They work hard. You know what I mean? Like, we have all the ingredients. We just didn't, for whatever reason, we just didn't perform. I don't know. I don't know why. I wish I did. I think we all wish we did, where we could all fix it. It's not like we feud and we hate each other. It's just, it's just not going. You know what I mean? So we're trying to get her figured out.
When you're leaving the racetrack and you've got that, knowing that, do you take it home with you? That's the biggest thing. I mean, or is it a relief when you get home?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I would have. So I had a baby, right?
Yep.
Man, if I didn't have her, like, I think when I would get home, I would just dwell on it, because I don't have anything. I can't go work on my race car to ease my mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's 4 hours away from me,
Yep.
So she's all I got. So yeah, when I come home, it's honestly a relief. You know what I mean? It kind of gets me gets me quit thinking about it or whatever and let the guys do their job. So, yeah, it's just a way different position for me. You know what I mean? I've never done it like this. You know what I mean? So it's tough on me. I think it's tough on them. It's tough on everybody when you know you got all the, like I said, you got all the goods to make some cool shit happen, and we can't get it.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing too, is like, that's what you hear in the media. You hit it right on the head. Everybody's like going, he's got this. Why isn't he doing it? Don't understand this? Because the other thing is, it's a compliment to you too, because it tells you what you've also accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody has seen what you can do. So by seeing, this guy doubled up at Eldora, I think we forget about that. One of the biggest weekends ever in dirt late model racing history. Yeah. So it's not like you're not capable. You know what I mean? So
another tough pill to swallow when you go to these races and you win some of the bigger crown jewels. You win the North South, you win the Dream, the World. You do all this stuff. It almost spoils you. You know what I mean? And then when you get down, it almost made us like, man, what am I doing wrong? Like people don't understand that feeling when you've had the highest of the high, and then you're out there every weekend just trying to get you a top 10, you know what I mean? Squeak you out of top 10. Like, that's not a good feeling for yourself. You know what I mean? You're just wanting to know, what in the hell is it me? Can I not drive anymore? Am I doing, I have all, that's what I say. Like, people don't understand that house car is that is the best shit that you can get in, but that's a tough car to drive. And I don't think people really understand the situation you're in,
Yeah, well, and you look at too, I mean, you go from, having McCready in the house car, they had their struggles at the end at his tenure. You put Sheppy in it. They did not light the world on fire by any means, from what he was doing at Rocket before he got there. And then, you guys get into it, and it just seems like it's the same thing, but I don't think people realize, one, maybe not so much that you feel the pressure, but there is an extra amount of pressure when you have that target on your back, right? And everybody's expecting you to perform at a super high level. And if you're not winning 25 races, we ain't doing shit if you've got all this stuff. But like you also said, is when you have all of these people piled in here and everybody's got their opinion on what's going on, and we're changing up these drivers and we're changing, these crew chiefs, and it's a constant revolving door. Well, we talked with Aaron Reitzel earlier in the year. The thing he said, he goes, I've been building my team for years. He said it just takes time, and that's just, and unfortunately, we're not in the business that a lot of guys want to take time. That they don't want to give those 2 or 3 years to let somebody, especially in the Longhorn stuff, develop, because all their cars are winning. But why the hell can't our house car win?
That's the thing about it. Like, the car that we drive, it doesn't have time to work itself out. Like, you're either gonna go or you're gonna get fired. Like, it is what it is. It's a business, right? The car, the house car's got to beat it's supposed to beat the customer cars, right?
Right.
So but I'm with Aaron for sure. Like, that's how it is. You build your little team up and you just go race, and it'll just start clicking. Like, and you don't even know. Like, everybody asks me, like, why don't you just do what you did when you was winning? You know what I mean? I'm like, don't you think I would do what I did when I was? Don't you think I'm that damn stupid? Like, I've done it. It's just like when you hit on it and you start winning, it's just everything's going your way. You know what I mean? You got luck. You got starts that you win your heats or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, everything just rolls into you can't do anything wrong, and that's when you have those years. You go, hell, I did the same thing about every night I won, and it was easy. You know what I mean? Like, I remember riding around her going like, dude, I'm never going to lose another race. Like, this is so easy. Like, I got it. I finally figured it out, Yeah. And then, like I said, then the next thing you know, a couple years later, you're biting them off in the B main going, holy shit, I'm not going to make the world. You know what I mean? I'm trying,
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah, it's tough. It's, but I don't know. I guess that's why we all love it. Like, it's, there's no feeling like doing, winning one of those big races. So I think that's what drags us all in.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. You talk about all the people saying, let's go back to what you used to do. Let's go back further than that. Let's go back to the tag trailer and the gooseneck truck and back when we met, hell, God, now what, 10 years ago probably. And and at Cedar Lake, so me and Brandon don't know each other back then. This is long before Brandon's done anything. I had never done shit anyways, but we're down here at Cedar Lake, and he's parked just a couple doors down from me. That's when we first met. And then look over, and it's got this Budweiser trailer. It's a tag, and it's got a gooseneck truck pulling it, and Brandon and his boys are out here just, wearing this thing out, they dirty as hell, just everything. And go back to those days and what really picked you up getting into dirt late model racing and those days of probably for when it was the most fun, just dragging your ass up and down the road.
Yeah, so that truck obviously didn't go with that trailer. I had a matching truck at one time and it got repossessed. So we lost the truck, and the Budweiser guy, Doug, he actually bought that Renegade, which was for a gooseneck trailer. He bought it for his wife to pull the horses with. And it was, obviously it was too big for her to drive around, So he's like, man, I would get you another truck, but I just bought this Renegade. So I'm like, hell, I don't care. I'll get it hooked up. So we took it to a place in town, and they built a hitch on the back of it. Yeah, we hooked that damn thing up, and it was actually me and Cody and one of my other buddies, Josh. We tore out. We went Word Outlaw racing. I had 1.5 cars, so I only had one motor at the time. So I would run. If I crashed, I would have to take the motor out of a car and put it in. We just had a bunch of shit all jammed in there, just trying to do the best we could do. But we was at Cedar Lake. What do they call that place? The Sandbox or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I met you up there or whatever, just hanging out, drinking. I didn't know anybody either. I was just glad somebody was talking to me, honestly.
It was so fun. I honestly have no clue how we even really met, but I remember we're standing in the middle of the pit area for 45 minutes just bullshitting about absolutely nothing and how hard this racing shit was. I think that was my first USA Nationals I had ever been to, and I was eye-opening experience. And I look back and he's like, yeah, we just got to make sure we can get down the road to the next race. And it was so fun because you look back at those times, even back then, how different racing was in general. But we're younger, we're just both pushing for a dream and going after whatever we wanted to do. And it probably actually attracted me because he had the Budweiser on the side of it, and I was like,
sure,
so that's why I'm repping the Anheuser-Busch tonight too. So we better get these babies out real quick so we can make sure that
Gordy's got, what is that, a 40?
Yeah, not a 40. Come on now, it's only a 25 ouncer. Yeah,
you notice he brought one. He didn't think of he's so proud of his co-host, but yet he didn't bring me one.
You would be drunk if you one of these. There you go. You're good now.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is the fact that you win the Hunt the Front series a little bit. You've done this regional stuff. You've done the national stuff. In an ideal situation, talk about you seem like you really enjoy the regional stuff as much as you can because there's been times when they had to basically drag your ass to run the national series.
Yeah, I do, and it's not that I like running regional races or I think I can win.
Right. Well, those Hunt the Fronts aren't regional races anymore.
Yeah, and that's the problem. When you come down here and race against the guys it's no different. When you go to people's region, it's hard to beat the locals. It ain't like you're everybody thinks oh, you're just cherry picking. Dude, it's just as hard to win. It's the same, If you let the guys race at the same tracks 10 times in a row, they're going to eventually kick your ass. They're getting good at them. So it's not that it's any tougher. Most of the time, the reason that I ran the regional stuff is just because I'm like, man, I do not want to drive 15 hours in this rig all the way across the country to go race the same amount of money that I can race 2 hours from my house for. That's why I did it. And I always said, I try to keep it fun, right? Fun's not driving 15, 18 hours when you don't have to, you know what I mean? Obviously, yeah, I do. I want to win a Lucas championship or I want to win an Outlaw championship. I do want to do that. It's just when you don't have the right stuff or the right people in place to make it easier on everybody. You know what I mean? If you got 2 or 3 good crew guys where they all want to drive and they all want to go, you have to have everybody on board, right? So just because I want to do it doesn't mean the three people I'm riding in the truck with want to do it. So if they get pissy, and they get mad, you know what I mean? It's not fun for anybody. So I think that's more reason why I ran the regional stuff, not because I didn't want to, you know what I mean? Not that I didn't want to go race with the big boys. That was my way of keeping it fun. I still got to race for good money, shit like that, you know?
Well, Gordy talks about it. It's told me, he says, I'd love to go run the national deal one time, but I'll do it my way. If I can't do it the right way, I don't want to do it. Yeah. You know, he goes, we've talked about it.
That's the right thing. Cause like, honestly, what happens is you start and you see like, or if as long as everything's going good, you just keep on trucking. But 9 times out of 10, everything don't go good. So you start blowing up or you start tearing cars up and you get in financial binds or your crew gets, you know, them trucks get small, no matter how many slide outs they got or how nice they are, they get small, you know? So, when shit starts going bad, you know, then it makes it not fun. Then you start not running good. Then you fall off. And then you got all the people that know everything about racing. They're on the internet, you know, just adding fuel to the fire, you know, shit, he needs to go home. He sucks. Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. Like, everybody can say what they want to say, but they don't understand that we're people and we read that shit, and it is a kick in the balls, you know what I mean? For us. So I said, that's the way I've always done it. If I can't do it the right way, I don't need to run a tour. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. Like I've always.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I race because I love it. I want to race. I want to be known as one of the good ones. You know what I mean? So I don't give a shit. Don't matter to me. I do it because I love it. This is what I've always wanted to do. And this is what I do. You know what I mean? I'm not out there trying to prove, you know, that I can or can't. I'm about over that, you know?
I remember when I took off and did the Outlaw Tour in 22, I can remember when they made the post, you know, that I was going to run the Outlaw Tour. And, you know, back then I think I probably looked at social media a completely different light. Like I was more looking for, you know, I want them to accept me that I'm a good race car driver. I was, you know, looking at it that way. And I can remember just reading the comments, and like the first 10 comments I read were, he ain't going to make it out of speed weeks. He'll be gone by May. He ain't worth a shit, you know. And honestly, I can remember exactly what I did. I screenshotted all of this stuff. I still have it in my phone today. Because I was like, you know what? Whenever that first time comes and I'm ready to fucking quit, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to remind myself that I'm not quitting, you know, no matter how bad it gets, no matter, you know, whatever. And it was more just like a testament to me wanting to do it because, you know, it's like you said, it is so hard to go and travel the miles and race all the time and be gone from home and not at your race shop and doing all these things, which most people do not understand the actual amount of hours that go into competing at a very, very high level every night. Like, you don't get a break. You don't just roll into somewhere and it's like, hey, we got 13 cars tonight. Good luck. You know, that does not happen. And even if it was 13 cars, it'd be 13 of the hardest cars you have to beat anyways. And so, you know, like the longevity of a national tour is, you know, like we all talk about, it's a grind, right? And it can beat you down in ways you never thought you could be beat down to and make you so demoralized you're just like, what the hell am I doing? Have I ever drove a race car before in my life? And then the next moment you're like, well, shit, I can run one of these every night. It's no problem. But those highs and lows are so hard to kind of, you know, get through because, you know, it happens so much. And, you know, especially for you, you know, I mean, you look at the year you win the Double Dreams was one of the most epic things anybody will ever see, right? Like, you come out, they have Double Dreams, nobody's ever seen this, crazy. And you just wax their ass all weekend, right? And I can remember talking to you after because I was so pumped for you, and it was just cool because what a lot of people like you just said on the show that don't know about you is that you work on all your own stuff. You set up your race cars. You're as in tune with every part on your race car as anybody else is, and probably some of that gets overshadowed, right? Because you're in the Wells car, you're in this, and people are thinking, oh, he's just got all these crew guys. But you know, you've been there at the very bottom and then built yourself up to, you know, to one of the absolute top names of our sport, and it wasn't by accident. And people will lose sight of that very quickly. But you know, when you recap a year like you had, how do you wipe the slate clean going into next year, right? We all say, yeah, we can just forget about it, but we know as racers we don't forget about it. But how do you, preparing to get in next season and just really just like mentally, how does that work for you?
Man, it's tough. Like, honestly, I've been telling myself for the last 2 years, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I gotta change. I gotta do something. I gotta get back going. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be like, I just feel like I'm in a slump. You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm in a slump and I can't get out of it. And like the last 2 years, obviously we've been trying to build a car, right? So trying to learn that with Eric when we were in the well stuff, just that's a lot, you know what I mean? On top of race. And then you're talking about, it ain't talking about shocks and springs this week. It's talking about like different tubing and, shit that I have no idea about, and then on top of that, trying to race and take care of all the crew guys and get everything ready to go to the track. So, then I did this deal, and that's what I said. You think it's going to be like, all right, this is my chance to turn it all around. I can focus again. Like I'm going to have, I can restart. And said, obviously, this hasn't gone the way we all thought it was going to go. So, just their only way to do it is do what got you there in the first place, right? Just like you said, you read all the shit on the internet. Everybody says they're going to quit. You're going to be out, whatever. That's the kind of the way I used it. I just keep telling myself, like, don't give up. I'm just going to keep doing what got me here. Keep digging. Don't listen to nobody. You know what I mean? Just keep my nose down and just figure out. I just got to figure it out. That's what I did the first time. I just figured out what I needed to win. Like wasn't no secret setup. I would do what I thought was right. And I just trusted myself. And that's what I did. It just turned
Put the deck to 65 inches.
Yeah.
Have it as high as it could go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was, I remember the first time I did it, speaking about the big decks, I kind of wish they would go back, but the first time, like this is how redneck I am. I didn't have anybody with me. So I was like, man, I forgot. I'd say it was Josh. I was running Word Outlaws and like, this was right when they started getting the decks kind of high. Josh's car was, like every picture you've seen of it, this thing was way up in the air, and like I could see him standing on it, like pushing it down. And I was like, that's what I got to do. I got to get my deck way up in there. Like, shit, how are they doing that? So I was like, I got it. Cody, Josh, y'all come stand on my back bumper. So they stand on my back bumper and they squish this damn thing down, and I zip tied I put like a trillion gazillion zip ties on the springs. I was at Farmer City. Like you can go back.
I just got ready to say, I know exactly when this was.
Zip tie this spring down, right? Like I get this joker good, and this my car's sagging in the ass, perfect, right? And we keep measuring the deck. We're like, yeah, we can keep going. We can keep going. So we just like keep jacking my deck up. We get this thing freaking high as hell, right? Well, I go out there on the racetrack. I'm excited. I'm out there weaving my tires, trying to spin the tires, and it will not get up. Like my zip ties won't break, so my car's like broke. I'm stomping the gas, spinning I'm like, oh shit, like this is not gonna be good. So
wait. Let's also mind you start on the front row.
Yeah, I drew a 1 for the redraw, so I'm on the pole. Anyway, I'm panicking. I can't get it to break. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. I'm going. So they throw the green, and I go in the 1, and it's like I just like. Looks like I turned the car off. This thing spins out so quick. The whole field comes in there, smashes me. Well, I forgot who hit me. Somebody hits me, and I felt it. As soon as we made contact, this thing bowed up in the ass, and I'm like, oh, there it is. So I floorboard it, run through the infield. I've crashed half the field, all right? I almost won the race. I don't know if it was like me and Unzicker. I don't know what. I'm in Illinois. I outrun Bobby in the heat race. I remember that. I beat Bobby in the heat. I'm starting to slide unzicker or whatever, and we're sliding each other. I ain't never threw no slide. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm driving my ass off. I've crashed half the field. But anyway, I ended up running second, but I was so damn happy. And so from that day on, I was like, I blamed it on like, yeah, my deck was like 4 foot higher than everybody else's. So I solely focused on, I didn't give a shit about the car or any springs or anything. I was just trying to get my right front as high as I could and my left rear as low as I could without having the shit zip tied. So, yeah, I raced like that for 2 or 3 years. It done me a pretty good job. Yeah.
my favorite was I don't remember where we were at, and it was me, Brandon, and Clanton. It might have been right after this happened. And Clanton was, I think, might have been on the front row with you, or he started right behind you. I started like 13th because we went into 1 like we're Daytona crashing. And I'm like, what in the hell happened? Like, who spun out, And I just, shit is going everywhere. And somebody asked him, he's like, oh, I just went in there and just hit the slime and spun out. And Shane says, no, I know what you did. He says, you zip tied them fucking springs down and you didn't break them. And dude, it was so funny. And he couldn't even say no because it was just so fun. Yeah. Oh, it was great. But yeah, I mean, that was the game back then. You had to find a way to get your deck as high in the air as you could at whatever cost. You had to figure it out. Like,
all you had to do is look at JD in those years, man.
Dude, yeah. Like
right?
The year JD won in G.R. Smith stuff.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Brian Liverman. I pulled Huddy's car out. I think it was the World. And yeah, it was the World. And Huddy made the race. He's like 17. And we were parked right next to each other. I make the race. He's like, hey, you driving my car out there? So I pull out and JD pulls it, or Liverman pulls right next to him. And I look over and I'm like, holy shit, this deck is like barely hanging on. And Liverman fucking slaps me. He's like, it looks like a tree fell on the fucking deck, doesn't it? But that was just the nature of the beast at that time was like, how high up can you get the deck? And you had mastered it completely. Like you figured out how to do it long before anybody else did, and you just stayed right in that little box that you found, and it's like you could do no wrong.
He was a game changer?
Yeah, 100%. We chased the 76, because I remember having a triple stack at one point on my left rear, and somebody was showing me, and they're like, well, you might be able to get high up as the 76 does with something like this, And I'm like, that's going to take a little bit more work, if you ask me. But, and that's what I think our sport now misses. You probably would agree.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, do you remember how fun that was?
It was so fun.
Do you remember how, it was so fun? It was so fun, trying to, we would all, I don't know how anybody who races the dirt late model in that area has all fingers.
Right, dude.
Trying to put that shit together that we were running back then with those cages that Burner had, it got me so many times. But I just remember, if I was a little loose, I'd be like, man, if I get this deck up another inch, my shit be tight. You know what I mean? I got it. So it was so fun. Where now it's I don't know. Obviously now I can get to talk to a lot of the guys who have the same cars I got, and I'm listening to what they're saying, and they're like, yeah, I run this stack, or I don't run this stack, or I run this spring. And I just not that I get bored with it, because obviously you got to figure it out, but I'm just like, man, there's 30 Longhorns out there, and we all got the same right front spring. You know what I mean? When I just feel like 6 years ago, everybody had all kind of wild shit. You know what I mean? And it's just gotten in a small little bitty box. And so yeah, I think it's cool when somebody does something a little different. You know what I mean? I know everybody gets Kirkpatrick Hill about his cars or the way they look or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's cool because I know. That's getting him excited. You know what I mean? So that's what we need. We need some excitement, something different. So, yeah, I mean, and there's, like I said, just because we all have the same springs and stuff, I get it. There's a million different ways we can do our cars. But I just remember how fun that was, going in the shop at night or ordering, I'd be ordering this, do they make a 40-pound spring? All right, what could I stack that on top of? You know what I mean? I'd be dreaming up all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, I was taking quarter midget springs, stuff that we had in old boxes, and we were fabbing stuff up. I mean, it'd be 2 a.m. and you'd still be at the drawing board. I mean, I can only imagine. I know how I did. Man, I had shit taped out on the floors, measuring the different things, and you're just it was having my old man in the shop with me, because he'd be going, what the hell's going through your mind on this? And I'm like, well, just give me a minute.
This is totally wrong how to set the car up. That is not how you set the car up. But it made a difference, You didn't even have to have it set up. As long as that deck was up in there and you matched the gas and it would go down, shit, you were gravy,
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it was, that part of it, and everybody gave Rumley hell for the device and all these things. But, dude, that's innovation. That's what makes our sport great, right? I don't know if you've ever looked, there's a video I love watching, back when Ray Evernham was working on Jeff Gordon's stuff, 98 Daytona. And he built this quarter panel because they had, back bumper rules and whatever else it was, and kind of like we do now. But he had made a right rear quarter panel out of like some plaster or something, so that under speed it would dish, but it would make it through tech. And they documented this whole deal, and it is one of the coolest videos. But like, the only thing we can mess with now is our bodies, right? Like there's not really anything else we get to play with the way we used to 5-6 years ago. And don't get me wrong, I thought that was when the racing was the best, because you had so many guys doing so much different shit every week trying to find all the speed. Now it's like, hey, call Bill Steen and buy these shocks and put these springs on it and move this bar here and do this, and you should go like hell. No problem. Don't worry about it.
And I think that's honestly, so when you give us free range, right? If our deck is 70 foot in the air and the track, like just think about it. All right, Charlotte the other night qualifying, right? How many cars? 70 cars, right? Well, it used to be where if there was 70 cars at Charlotte, maybe 3 of them went around there wide open, right?
Right.
Well, now there's 70 cars and 68 of them go around there wide open. So it's like we're all stacked up on top of each other. But the reason only 3 of them went around there is because, I was one of the ones that would never make it qualifying at Charlotte. I'd start dead last and have to drive my ass off to get to the podium, But my deck was 40 foot in the air, right? So I couldn't turn. I was too tight. Well, that made like comers and goers, you know what I mean? Where like now, like I said, you got 70 or whatever, you got 50 Longhorns out there and we all have the same stuff. It's kind of, if you go out when the track's pristine and you get you a good qualifying lap and you make the right adjustments, it's hard. It's hard to go backward, but it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to go forward too, just kind of, I think that's what you see sometimes where we blame it on the tracks or whatever, but I still say it's because we all have the same shit. You know what I mean?
Kind of like an IROC series.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like just how we watch JD, like obviously the last month here, he's been like on fire, right? He's probably just got something a little different. You know what I mean? And it looks, when he gets out there on the racetrack, it looks like, oh, we ain't got what he's got. You know what I mean? Shit. He's got something crazy, but it's probably not even that. It's just, he's just a little different from the average car and he's got it working, Yeah. So, it's really, really hard,
And the other thing I want to talk about is mentors. Who is a mentor of yours? Like when you were getting into the sport, who'd you look up to and who'd you want to be?
Honestly, Randall, Chup. I don't know if y'all like.
Oh yeah, the one. Yeah.
If you went to Phoenix City, so Phoenix City was Southern Guys World 100, right? So Phoenix, the National 100 was probably the first big race that I went to before I ever even got a late model. I had like a hobby car. And Randall was there and he started in the back of the National 100. And I'm telling you, he literally drove to the lead from dead last like 2 or 3 times. Like he'd get to the lead. I think he was passing like Jimmy Mars or whatever. He'd pass Jimmy Mars. And I just remember looking at all the people, everybody freaking out. Well, he'd take the lead and he'd fly off the track. Caution come out. He'd go to the back. He'd come in, they'd scrape his spoiler off, fill it up with gas or whatever. And he'd go back out there and his ass, here you come again. He'd get back to the lead and he'd fly off the track again. He was driving that Biscotti's car. Well, anyway, I watched all that and I was like, man, Randall Chup, badass. Like that's who I want to be right there, Well, fast forward to probably 3 years later, I started driving for Jack Starrett. Didn't know what the hell we were doing, had no idea. I remember the first day. So I don't even know how we got in touch with Randall. I think he was starting his consulting business, right?
Yep.
So I told Mr. Jack, I'm like, Jack, we don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm just driving this thing. Like I need to get some help. He said, well, call that Randall. He used to call him Randall Chump. He said, call that Randall Chump and get him down here. I'm like, all right. So I call him up. I'm like, hey, you don't know who I am, but I know you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. My car owner, he's got some money. He told me he'd pay you whatever, get your ass to South Carolina. So he comes down here and I never forget it. I had the tie rods on the spindles on the steering arms. I had them on the top of the steering arms instead on the bottom of the steering arms. So like you can imagine what I was driving. Like I had no idea. And it was a Masterbuilt, and I remember being like, man, I had a GRT before this. My personal car was the GRT. So when I got over there to drive for Jack, it was Masterbuilt. So we still didn't have a damn clue. But like I said, this thing's pretty and shiny. So we get it, and I go out there and I suck. And I remember telling my dad, like, damn, this Masterbuilt sucks. We need a GRT or something. Well, anyway, Randall comes down. He fixes it. He works on it all day long. We go to Gaffney. I like qualify on the pole. We didn't have the right upper control arm, and I remember Randall like heating this thing up with a torch, like trying to get the camber or something right on it. Well, anyway, I was leading this race, like had no idea what the hell I was doing, and the control arm folded up on me. So that's how. Yeah. So anyway, but long story short, he was probably one of the first guys who was like, badass race car driver to pay me any attention. I remember growing up going and asking, I was trying to talk to those guys when I was little, just getting into it, and they didn't pay me like a lick of attention. So I think that's why I fell in love with him. He talked to me like I was somebody, treated me so good. He come and worked on my car, and then he told everybody like, dude, this kid can drive. You know what I mean? So I would always, I knew he was talking good about me, so I'd always ask him where I could hear him say it. They'd be like, oh, that Randall Reed's world to you. He said you was badass, But what was so funny is he would never tell me that. He wouldn't tell me that. He'd always be on my ass about, you need to do this, you need to do that. But he would tell everybody else how good I was, So.
Some people say he had one of the best mullets in racing,
Yeah, I know. I like all those pictures from back in the day. That's badass. I seen one today, actually. I think it was the Miller car.
Oh, yeah, man. That black and that orange 114, dude. And his dad was a bad dude, man. Gene Chupp. He was a bad dude in his time, When I saw Randall, one of the first times I saw Randall race, it was at West Plains. It's like one of the first inaugurals, Show Me 100s. And he's pitted next to Scott. And I was looking at Scott, and I'm looking at they had the lineups up for the B mains, and I said something about, and they're pitted right next to Scott, and Scott's working on his car. They haven't even unloaded. And this is when Russell Owens was crew chiefing for Randall. And Scott's like, you guys might want to work on your car. I just looked at the lineup. You guys are like starting dead last in the B main. You haven't even unloaded this thing, like that. This Russell looks right at Scott, because everybody knows that Russell worked with Scott in the original Masterbuilt. He goes, it doesn't matter. He's going to drive this motherfucker the way he's going to drive it. He's going to come all the way through that B main, and he's going to get a transfer spot. And Scott even said to me, he goes, I'm telling you, watch this cat. He's going to put a show on. And he did, man. He made the A main coming like all the way. And they didn't even work on the car all during the day. It was like crazy. It's like, Scott even called. He's like, oh, man, watch this guy. This guy, even though it's slick, it's not out there. It's like he's going to be going 100 mile an hour. I'm like,
man, when you look back on
and those cars were so cool back then, too.
Right. That's what I mean. Like the older style days of racing, when I grew up going with my dad everywhere, and we go down to Volusia, and, you're watching every big name you could ever want to watch run around Volusia, and it's slick, and they're running the curb, and Donnie Moran and Chubb Frank are absolutely burning the guardrail down, and you got like Matt Miller and McDowell floating in the middle, and Scott and Billy, like people don't realize, for one, how talented those guys were, because they were driving shit boxes, like full on. And I mess with my dad all the time, and he gives me hell about I could get in this thing and drive around here, and I'm like, you wouldn't stand a chance hopping out in one of these things. And I understand where he's coming from, but it's, I look back on those, like, I wish a lot of times that's the era I would have drove in,
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like the cars are flopping around and they look like shit to handle, and they're sliding and laying down on the left rear, and it's like, those guys had to really drive those race cars. Like Scott driving as straight as he did, winning the World 100s way back when, was beyond impressive, because those cars did not want to go straight. Like ours tried to get to straight. Those wanted to run as crooked as we could be. And so it's just, I don't know, obviously you're thankful for all those guys that kind of paved the way for our sport, but I guarantee if you sat all of them in a room right now with the way we're going, and we sat and talked about it, they'd all tell us what, we don't really know what real racing is.
That's right.
Gordy's got a good power steering story.
Oh man,
this is a classic.
No, this was a 3-wheel brake switch. So I listen. So I'm at Eldora. The first time I ever go there in 2016, and it's the year it rained and we had to run the day show Friday. It's the year Fergie broke the track record. So I go out, I qualify pretty good, and start on the front row of my heat race. It's me, Eddie Carrier and Josh is behind me. Heyday Rocket Days, and I'm like, holy shit, you know. I watched Jared Landers absolutely kill a car going into turn 1, wide open, and it's, you know, you got to run the fence during a day show there. So I'm sitting there, my dad walks down, he's like, listen, I know you're probably scared, but like you're gonna have to run in here wide ass open. And I'm like, whatever, the hell with it, you know, I can't, I got to do it. So I get a great start. I'm leading the heat race, get like 2 laps in of running wide open, and then, you know, your tires start going away, and, you know, now you're starting to lift. Well, I don't have 3-wheel brakes at this point. My old man always called it a crutch. He's like, you don't need 3-wheel brakes, it's a crutch, blah, blah. So I go in, every time I touch the brakes, I'm locked left until I hit the curb, and then I'm just wide open. Well, Josh finally passes me coming to the white, and I think Eddie Carrier like nips me at the line. Well, I come in and Dale McDowell walks down. He said, Gordy, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you going in here locking left? I'm like, I don't have 3-wheel brakes. And he's like, what do you mean you don't have 3-wheel brakes? Like, you didn't turn the switch on? And I'm like, no, my KG says I don't have, you know, I can't have it. It's a crutch. He's like, you're shitting me. I'm like, I swear. So he walks down to my pit area with me, and because I'm like, maybe you can talk some sense into him. And he walks down, he's like, Kevin, he said, he don't have 3-wheel brakes? He said, Dale, you know we don't run 3-wheel brakes. You don't have a 3-wheel brake switch. He said, Kevin, one time I got 4-wheel brakes on is when this thing's sitting in the shop and we're bleeding the brakes. He said, you're going to fucking kill this kid. And so I'm like, I'm telling you, to this day, if Dale McDowell doesn't walk down, I probably still don't have a 3-wheel brake switch. But so Dad went in there and pinched the line off and gave me 3-wheel brakes, and then it slicked off in the feature, and I needed 4-wheel brakes. And so
He was right.
yeah, and so it was so funny, and like, but you just think those guys were, you know, it was so different, right? Like, I mean, I know my old man started, like, they didn't even have power steering, right? Like, he was one of the first guys to run with a rack and pinion. So it's just, you know, everything is, you know, changed so quickly over time, and now it's like we evolved too fast. Like, it's almost now where we're too smart for our own good, because we've got these cars so stuck that we can't get out of the box we've now put them in. And that's what I think is hard, you know, these days is trying to explain to, I mean, how you've been in every driver's meeting and rules meeting and seen all the tech, and, you know, it's like, how do we fix it? Well, it's like, I don't know if you can, or is it, you know, how do you undo everything we've done for the last 3? Yeah, right. We did all this stuff for the last 3 years to get to this point. What are you're just going to go, okay, hey, we got to go back to the 2022 rule book, or, you know, like, they're not going to do that. And I don't know, it's just hard. And I mean, obviously you've seen it from day one. I mean, how, if you had an opinion on it, what would yours be?
Yeah,
man, I don't even know. I think about it all the time, though, because I know, like, I've been a part of, like, we've all watched the rules change, right? Like, well, our racing sucks because our deck's too high. Like, that's all we heard for 2 years. Well, we changed it, and it's like we made more rules, and it's like the more rules they make, nothing ever helps. Like, it's just like it turns us on another page. You know what I mean? Tires, I always hear everybody talk about, well, let's just put them on hard tires. Well, every time we go to a race with hard tires, the track sucks ass, right? I mean, like, we burn in one lane, we can't move. Like, that ain't it. And then they're talking about taking the spoil. I don't know I really don't. I wish I did, but, like, I don't know what the hell to do. You know what I mean? It's like what we've done to not to ourselves, but it's like what we've all done. They wanted rule changes, people bitching about this or bitching about that, and they changed the rules, and, like, this is what we got. So, just kind of turned it into what it is, just the way you watch us all race and stuff. I don't know how to fix it. I wish I did. That's all I can say on that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to ask you about some kind of flip to a completely different page, because you and I are very similar when it comes to, you know, you got your little brother Cody out there. I got my little brother. Like, we've talked about this before, but talk about, you know, what it's like growing up, for one, with your little brother racing. Now he's on a national tour, you know, and kind of trying to mentor him in your own way, but, you know, also honestly the challenges that come with it, right? Like, I know we've talked about the challenges of it with your mom and dad, right? It's no different than mine, and you know, kind of go into what it's like having him out there. You're racing against him competitively, but also he's your little brother, and you try to help.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. Obviously, they're our brothers, right? So anytime they do anything cool, we're like so damn pumped. You know what I mean? Like I'm like when Cody does something good or cool, I'm just like, man, that's my little brother. You know what I mean? Like that's so damn awesome. And then when he does something stupid, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Not a good idea, Cody. You know, that wasn't
Right.
good. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then like you said, like our obviously when I was like winning every week, and my mom would call me when Cody was just, you know, he'd be running half-assed or whatever, and she's like, "That's bullshit. You need to help your little brother. Like you're supposed to be family. You need to take care of him. You need to tell him." I'm like, "Mom, I can't tell them everything. Then they're gonna like tell people. Then they're gonna start beating me. No bullshit. That's your little brother. He wouldn't do anything wrong to you." And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is my job now. Like, I can't just tell him every damn thing. You know what I mean? But, nah, he's done a good job. He does. I watch him all the time, and I hear him. So he was old enough, right when we were running Outlaws. Just say when you're going all over the country and you're meeting all these people, and these people come up to you, sponsors or just whatever, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you a motor, right? I'm gonna buy you a motor, or I'm gonna buy you a car. I'm gonna do this." You meet all these people, right? About 10% of it really actually happens, right? So, especially when you really, really need it, most of the time it ain't gonna happen. But so I watch him a lot of the times, like he'll be so fired up. He's like, "Yeah, so and so is gonna do this, and so and so is gonna do that," and then I'm like, man, I don't want to say nothing, but I know like a lot of times people are probably just talking out of their ass. You know what I mean? And I just watch them get so pumped up on it and get kicked back down. And that's why I try to tell them, like, dude, I've lived it. I've lived it to the worst, to the highest of the high and the lowest of the low. I've done everything. You're not telling me anything that I haven't already done. I did it. You know what I mean? So that's the only good thing I got going for him. And then a lot of times I'll tell him, I told you, like, I told you this is going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it will. And so, yeah, but like I said, it's cool. I do like racing with him. You know what I mean? I think there's not many, like, there's not many people who probably get to share it like me and you do. You know what I mean? It is awesome to, our cars don't stay in the same shop, but if they ever did, you know what I mean? That would be family time. You know what I mean? You're out there with your brother, and, you know, today's world, like, it's not, most people aren't as close as they were, like how our parents' families were. You know what I mean? You got so much shit going on nowadays. It's hard to keep all your family tight. So, yeah, that's kind of that's why I like it. You know what I mean? We share some common stuff. Even my middle brother, Dalton, he's all into go-karts and they're racing, and he calls us every Sunday and talks shit to us and tells us we suck. And you know what I mean? He watches everything. The racing is what keeps like my whole family together, you know, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you get the number 76?
So my wife's grandpa, actually, it was her uncle. There was a go-kart track by our house, and we was standing against the fence, and the 76 go-kart was wearing everybody's ass out. So that was like the first weekend we went, right? Well, the second weekend we go, because my dad's like, I'm going to buy y'all some go-karts. We're going to start racing go-karts. So we go like 2 weekends in a row. And the second weekend we went, 76 is out there again wearing their ass out, but he's got a for sale sign on it. So I'm like, Daddy, that one's for sale. And he's like, yeah, we're going to talk to them. So, yeah, my dad, I remember we got a little armband and went in the pits, and he told him what was going on. And Heather's uncle was wanting to kind of quit or whatever he had going on at the time. But Heather's grandpa didn't. So he kind of worked out a deal with my dad where my dad would like sponsor or whatever, you know, buy some tires, buy the stuff, and he would let me and my older brother race them. So that's how it started. I started driving for them and just been 76 ever since then.
It's honestly so funny how, you know, like everybody thinks a lot of them come from these crazy details or like, oh, it's this and this, and it's just usually some bullshit funny story that just happened and just stuck.
Yeah, you know? that was the number that was on it when I got in it. So
yeah. Well, now wait a second though, because so if that was Heather's uncle, so is this how you met?
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's how I met. So I started driving for her grandpa, and just family shit, you know what I mean? Thanksgivings, we would always race on Thanksgiving. So we would eat Thanksgiving at Heather's parents for a little bit, and then we would load up and go to the go-kart track. So I've known her since I was 5 years old. So yeah, you know, I raced go-kart since I was 13. So from the time I was 5 to 13, I've known her. then you know how it is. You get older, you go through middle school, high school, all the shit, and then like my senior year in high school, I seen her again for like the first time. I hadn't, once I got out of the go karts and got in the cars, we traveled so much and we're gone all the time. Hell, I didn't see if you wasn't sitting in school with me or in my classroom. Hell, I didn't get to see you on the weekends. So yeah, I've known her a long, long time.
Yeah. Well, I think what's funny is as calm and cool and collected as Brandon is, Heather is the fire side of that relationship. I don't remember. I think we might have been at like the PDC one of the years or something, and Heather lit the wick the one night, and I don't know. I think I laughed my ass off more because just something about like, when we go racing, right, we got all these guys from different areas, right? And you guys are from the South, and you got the Southern twang and whatever. And Heather has it as much as anybody could. And all of a sudden, like, everybody's at my trailer, and I just keep hearing, Brandon. I'm like, who's raising hell over here? And then Brandon's like, this is Heather, and and she's like, Gordy, where's he been? I'm like, we're over here drinking, and I can't find him. Like, and I'm telling you, like, I love you guys to death. Like, they're like pure entertainment. It's been fun because like Brandon's got a daughter now. I've got one. Like, I feel like most of the time we see each other at the racetrack, we don't even talk about race cars now. We just talk about our daughters, and it's like, it's cool to see it all come full circle. You meet all these different guys you race with from different walks of life and different backgrounds, and you realize you're all the same. You're just not born in the same area, and you become close, and that's just like kind of what the racing community is. But it's, I'm sure as much as I mean, just like I do, how much that changes the entire landscape of your life. We talked about it a little bit earlier, like being able to get away when you get home, but when you have a family at home and things change and your priorities change, and you're still all chasing this same dream, right? Like you're never gonna be able to take the racer out of any of us, no matter what happens. But I kind of want to ask you, what that looked like. You have your baby, and you're supposed to go out on the road, and I know how I felt about it, and kind of talk about what that did for you as perspective, I guess. Moving into your future and all those things that come with it.
Yeah. So for the first, obviously the first 3-4 months, like, it's pretty scary. Like, people tell you, when you have that baby, you hear it. When you have that baby, this is gonna change, and you're like, what, whatever. But it isn't like it changes for the worse. It's almost like for me, it just feels like it makes me a better person, right? Like I said, every time I left, you would think like, man, baby's crying, baby's screaming, baby, you taking care of the baby, taking care of the baby. When you get ready to go race, you're like, but I'm not. You know what I mean? When I leave, I'm like, shit. Heather's there all by herself. She's probably going fucking crazy. Like, that baby's damn wearing her ass out, So I'm worried about them the whole time I'm leaving. It's not like you leave and you're relieved. You're just that's the dad in you, right? You're worried about the baby. You're worried about mom. So yeah, I just, like I said, that's always in the back of my mind. And then, like I said, I'm there to race. Like, I'm trying. I think I've tried harder this year for real. Like, when I go to the racetrack, like, I'm trying so damn hard. And I think that's what's got me so knotted up, is like, I want to do good for them. You know what I mean? Like, when I leave, I don't want Heather to be worried about stuff. Like, I want to go win races and let her know, like, hey, we're all right. We're making money. We're doing good. Your husband's going to take care of y'all. You know what I mean? So I'm trying harder now than I ever have. And that's what I said. Like, I think that's what bowls you over, it gets you in the feelings. It's like you're trying so hard and shit just ain't going right, and then, like I said, you have the bad weekends, and you can't wait to come home. Every time I walk in this door, I swear she's grown like this much more. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, damn, I've only been gone for 3-4 days, and it's like, damn, you get bigger and bigger every time. So that pulls on your heart, you know what I mean? And it's not easy. Like I said, you think when you get out of the house and you get ready to go race, like, it's a relief, but it's almost like that's the only thing on your mind. Your wife and your kid. And once you start racing, we're focusing on that as hard as we can. And as soon as we get out of it, it's back to dad life. So yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, she's just starting to say daddy a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm like, holy shit, that's badass. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff I've done, but like, watching her do that, like, man, there is nothing like it.
Oh man,
That's pretty cool.
I know it, and I'll tell you what, like it goes. You blink, and like you said, they grow so fast and do so much. You know, like hell, mine will be 3 in June, and I'm like, I feel like it was yesterday she's born. You know, now I get home and like mine has been watching this little hype video that I got to put out for the Dome next week, and 10 seconds in, it says, you know, it's time to go racing at the Dome. And my daughter stands up and goes, the Dome! And she's, you know, losing it. And, like, you can't, that's the most priceless thing. You know, like she thinks daddy going racing is the coolest thing in the whole world. And she loves watching all these races. And she knows race car drivers and watching Papa Donnie race, right? Like, she's just so keen on it. But I'm like, I feel like yesterday you couldn't even say a word, and now you're over here just rumbling and talking and going on like you wouldn't believe. And it's just the coolest experience you ever have. Everybody I tell now that it's getting ready to have their first baby, I'm like, you're about to have, you know, go into the greatest moments of your entire life. Like there's so many times when you're just as stressed out, you haven't slept, and you're like, what in the hell are we doing? And then you're just like, and then they walk through the door and they smile at you, and you're like, well, never mind, it don't even matter now.
Yeah. No, that's what you know, Devin's obviously about to have a baby. That's what I keep telling him. It's funny you're talking about her talking. Like, I forgot where we was at the other day, and Heather and Steve were in the trailer, and I come in, we didn't do good, and I grabbed her, and I don't know what made me say this. I looked at her and I said, Daddy won. And she said, too late, I already told her you got your ass kicked. You know, so I was like, well, you don't know that. You don't have to tell her that. I was just playing, you know?
Yeah. Ruined it. Ruined the moment.
Yeah. I said, just let me tell her what I want to tell her.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the big event next week. We got to talk about the Dome. First of all, man, got a great looking car.
Yeah.
That is badass.
Yeah, I'm excited. It makes me feel good. Like, obviously, Doug and Kathy, the Budweiser that's like on our car, they had a lot to do with it. You know, for me getting to where I am today. So just makes me feel good. You know what I mean? I know how proud they are going to be, see it on the racetrack. And anything when you put Budweiser on a race car, the reds, like, it's badass. It looks so good.
It does, especially St. Louis.
Last year, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this Dome, this fucking go-kart track in the middle of a bit. Like, what kind of shit is this? You know what I mean? But after I got out there, I was we did good. Like, I qualified on the pole, and then I barely nicked the wall, and I had a flat, and then they hit me in the ass or whatever. But I was so pissed off that was all I got to do. Like, I was so mad because I was like, man, I almost did good. Like, I could race. I could do good in this thing. So, so now we're going back. I'm, like, fired up. So, there really is, like, that was the first time I went, so I ain't never go before. So I didn't get all the hype until I went there last year. And I'm like, dude, this really is, like, this shit is neat. Like, there ain't nowhere in the downtown, like, after the races, and we're all out and we're all downtown. It's like we're all together. You know what I mean? Like, that. There ain't many places you can go and do all that shit. So, I'm ready. I'm pumped up for it.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we've talked about it so much, but I try to explain it to so many people, right? Like, obviously, I love this event. Like, my family's been a part of it, but beyond that, like, you cannot explain to somebody that's never been there what that feeling is like inside the Dome. Like, I'm telling you, it feels like there's just static electricity just waving across there the entire time. And when you get on the racetrack, like, the racer in you kicks in because shit is just happening. Like, you don't have, you hardly have a time to take a breath because it's, you know, like, you're hopping and the fence is right there, and like, you look at, like, no more than you're in the fence, you look up and you see like 10,000 people to your right, and you're like, man, I better not step on it right now because I'm going to look real stupid in front of all these people. And then it's just like, there's nothing truly better, honestly, in my opinion, than going in there and, like, being a part of the Saturday program and walking out of that tunnel. And then, you know, it is, like they've always said, it's the greatest equalizer because everybody that enters that race has a legitimate shot, because it don't matter if you have the baddest equipment, you have the shittiest equipment, what it is, like, you just got to be willing to go out and yard sale it and put yourself in a good position. And I'm glad you're saying that for not coming, because you hear all these guys like, oh, I'll never go there. That place sucks. Like, that's so stupid. But you go, you get one experience, and now you're going to probably be back there every year until you quit.
Yeah, like I said, it is honestly like I was so mad at myself, like for not going. You know what I mean? Like I was one of the guys that was, like I told you, I was like, man, that is not even racing. What the hell is that? But once you get in there and you see all the people, how pumped up they are about that shit, like it just makes you like, how can I love racing. Like, how can I not support this? Like, you got to be a part of this. It is neat as hell. And yeah, so like I said, I can't wait to get back. We started off, obviously, we're hoping that this is the curse. Like, that was bad luck weekend right off the rip. First time I drove this thing. So we're hoping we go back and we do good, and then it'll carry on the next year instead of starting us off how it did. So.
Well, I think it's neat is because you got the Budweiser red and being St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I got to raise some hell.
I mean, that's pretty badass.
Wait a second. So I'm not kidding you when I tell you this. So like 6 months ago, Savannah and I were watching something at the house, and there was an old Darrell Waltrip number 11 red and white Budweiser car. So I was like, this will be perfect. I'm going to do a Budweiser car. I was like, this will be sweet. I'm going to go down to AB.
Great
I got
idea.
some buddies. I'll go down and talk to them. I'm going to do this Budweiser car. Somebody told me like 2 months ago or a month ago or something, you were doing a Budweiser car. I was so mad. I'm telling you, I was like, this fucking Overton
Yeah.
done took my idea, and I'm like, nah, I can't do it because I'm like, I can't roll in there and we have the same damn race car. And then actually what was funny, we were at Wheatland in October, and Brennan Willard had this idea he was going to do a Budweiser car. I'm telling you, I was pissed, but the only reason I was like, I can't even call Brandon raise hell was because he had a Budweiser car 10 years ago, so it makes sense, it fits the mold. But I'm like, damn, the first year I really thought I was going to do this. I'm like, I'm telling you, I had this whole design. I got picked. I'm like, this is going to be sick. And Savannah's like, oh, it'll be so badass. We'll do all this cool merchandise.
Yeah, low key been like, man, he can kiss our ass. That's bullshit.
Yeah. So, but dude, I'll tell you what, it does. It looks awesome, and it's going to be cool. It'll look so good in there.
It does look good.
Cody Summers got the Michelob on his car. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, Simpson will have something.
I hope you guys are in the same hot lap session. You should just run up and door him in hot laps.
That's right. Go ahead and start the party off right.
What is it when you get to St. Louis next week? Where's some of your spots? Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be heading out?
Well, obviously, last year we were at the PBR bar, I guess.
Oh, yeah, we were.
There's a little taco place down there at the bottom. I don't think we're in that same hotel this year, so we'll have to Uber down there. But, yeah, it was popping, obviously. We could barely walk in. There was people, asshole to elbows around there. So, yeah, I like that. We'll just actually, Gordy will probably know where everything's happening. So, we get bored, we'll just call Gordy. See where they're at.
Yeah.
See where the party's at. I don't race till Friday, so I can honestly, I think I kind of like that deal. After Thursday, I can go hang out.
See, I'm the opposite. I ran on Thursday for forever. So I'll be honest. Whenever they switched it to 2 days, our relationship with Cody and them, Trevor and I are both down there racing. So Cody was nice enough. He texted us and said, hey, what, I'll split you guys up so you're not racing on the same night. I'm like, I want to race Thursday. So if I wad my shit up, I can work on Friday, but I can go out on Thursday night and not feel bad about waking up on Friday, a little hungover, whatever, and then I'll go out everybody Friday night and we can do it all again and no big deal. And now I get this, we go and race on Friday, and I'm like, I get there and I don't know, it's just how I am coming from sports and all that. But I'm just like itching on Thursday. Like I'm just like the, crackhead on the corner just sitting on there just like, God, can I just get on the racetrack already? Like I don't want to sit here and watch all this stuff. I want to be out there and race. Right. And I think it's great for the fans. They split up in 2 days. I wish they'd find a format where we could race all 3 days. Like that's just how I am. But it's really cool. Like you said, people don't realize at the Dome, like we all go out to the same spots. So if you go out to, I'm not telling you should come there just so you can come see us. So don't nobody come walking up and say, I knew you were going to be here. I want to sign an autograph or something. We ain't doing it. We're drinking beer. But you go to PBR on Thursday night or Friday night. Everybody you could ever want to see in dirt late model racing is probably there. And like, it's so fun. And like, you take 5 steps and you run into one of your buddies. You run into Brandon, you run into JD or Hoffman or whoever it may be, and all the mod guys are there, and like it's a blast. And like we're there to race, but that's like it's our kind of like our vacation too.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Like you're there racing, but it is, it's the dome. Like shit's gonna happen. So if somebody spins out and they flip you over the first day, it's like, oh, well, I'm still at the dome. Like we're still gonna go drink some beer, have some fun. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
That's what I say. It is.
Absolutely.
You are racing, but I like that too. Like there's not many places we go to where we're all together. We can all hang. It's almost like PRI, but you're not. It's kind of funner in PRI because we're racing, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Exactly.
It is fun as hell. So
Yeah.
Well, and like normally if we go to a racetrack, it's not like there's 9 bars down the road that everybody can go to when the races are over. Like you might, if you go to Charlotte, I guess you can go out together, but it's still not the same because like in St. Louis, it's like, all right, everybody's going to these 2 spots. We'll meet you there. Like, I don't know how many texts I get at the end of the night. Like, where are you going? I'm like, well, it's Thursday. We're going to PBR. We'll see you there. Okay. Can I get in there? Yeah. We'll just come on up and we'll find you. And then next thing you know, the whole bar is completely full of everybody and you're just hanging out and bullshitting and carrying on. And then you wake up the next day and it's just sheet metal noises for like 6 hours and everybody's working on their shit. And I think that's what's good too about it is everybody is well expected. Like if you go in there and you get tore up, it just is what it is. Like you're still gonna, there's some guys that are gonna get mad and whatever. It's not really gonna carry over. Like nobody's gonna come at you next June and be like, you crashed me at the dome, like you dickhead. Like nobody actually cares. Like you're gonna hit, you're gonna rub all over each other and you're gonna be mad for a little bit and then 2 hours later you're probably drinking and have a beer together. It's like and it's so cool to see. And it's like Cody was on our show last weekend. He says there's gonna be 35 to 38,000 people there on Saturday. Like that number alone is insane. Yeah, and like you're just we're gonna race in front of 38,000 people on Saturday, and they're gonna be filing through the vendor areas, buying our merchandise, and flooding the streets of St. Louis wearing racing T-shirts. Like you can't get that anywhere. No downtown has that. Like, and I think it's really cool because. I mean, I don't know how many Brandon Overton shirts are out there, but I mean, I know even like looking up in the crowd and seeing how pumped these people are about this event and just about racing in general, it gives you that kind of sense of passion. Like you want to go out there and put on the most badass show you can for them.
I remember last year, I didn't know how the hell to even get on the track. So I was kind of nervous about that. So I was staking it out, making sure I knew where I was going. I was so nervous before hot laps. Like I was like, dude, I don't even feel good. Like I'm in this brand new damn car, longhorned all out. I don't know how to get on the track. Never been here. What if I stall the motor out, spin out? Everybody knows I stuck on little bitty tracks. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to make an ass of myself. But anyway, like I said, I had a ball and I was mad after I qualified and I qualified on the pole. I was like, hell yeah. Bull ring, I got this shit.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah, and then I scuff the fence and blow my tire out, and everybody ass packs me, and I don't even get to race. But I end up getting some kind of bullshit provisional Cody gave us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got the race, but
yeah, you never been so happy. Longhorn sponsored the walkout.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, Arpin.
I'm telling you, I'll never forget. Listen, it's Cody's race. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. That's one of the things I do love about Cody is not one person tells him what he should or should not do in that weekend. He's going to do whatever he wants. And I remember, we look at the A-main lineup and put Brandon there, and I was like, well, I mean, I know why he's in there. Like, Longhorn sponsored this event. Like, they're going to put their house car driver in there. I don't care. It is what it is. And there's guys running up and down the pit area. I'm talking raising hell that they put Brandon in here. Like the door was closed on the 76 gate all day.
Yeah, we were in the suite. We was watching. I was ready to watch the show.
Yeah. And the best part is they're like, this Overton's hammered. He's hammered. He can't. And I'm like, all right, let's get. But the next thing you know, the rumors like, oh, they're gonna put Brandon in it, and the next thing you know, the door opens, and I'm telling you, it was like ants in an anthill. Everybody is scattering and mad. And I'm like,
it was a cluster because we had our car in the front of the trailer, and we were taking Jason's car back to Longhorn, so we had to unload his shit and then get our shit out. So yeah, it's a bad deal. So it ain't like he gave us a heads up like we were gonna be in. We didn't know. We was up there eating chicken fingers and whatever the hell else is in that suite, you know. Man, maybe this year we won't have to. I just want to go and make the race. Like, it don't. If you win, it's a damn bonus. I just want to go. I want to be a part of it. I want to do good, sell some shirts, meet the crazy ass people. I just like going and meeting all the crazy ass people. You know what I mean? They are in it. They are what makes it the Dome. You know what I mean? Like I said last year, that was, like, obviously we don't have all of our tracks are big, right? So we don't have a bunch of bull rings for us to get good at, but all the people coming over telling us, I think the fans liked it. They were like, "Oh, you ain't gonna know how to act out there. You ain't never been on nothing like this." They were talking shit to me, but it was funny. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and give her hell, whatever. Who cares?"
Yeah,
So
I think too. They're like, listen, people, like, by the time, if you go up in the vendor area at like 7 or 8 p.m., these guys have been drinking for like 4 or 5 hours. So the filter on all the race fans is gone. Like, if they like you or don't like you, they will walk right up to you and they'll either ask for a picture. They'll be like, "You fucking suck." And, like, for me, it's always like, "Tyler Carpenter's going to whoop your ass again, take your money," whatever. Like, I hear it all the time. Like, I saw something the other day, they posted about me, and the first thing on there is, "Oh, Gordy's going to go pay Tyler Carpenter another $2,000 or whatever." And I'm like, you some bitches can't even read through the lines. Like, you can't do it. But it makes it so fun, because I also don't think people realize, like, sometimes they think they're going to walk up and, like, hurt our feelings. Like, I promise you, the last thing you can do to a race car driver is hurt if there's nothing we have not said to ourselves in the mirror or in our head to ourselves, it's going to be any worse than what you can dream up and walk up and tell us. Like, it's not going to happen. But when they come up and you can banter with somebody and talk some shit and have some fun with them, like, I love that. Like, I eat that up. I'm like, I love that you don't like me because you like that driver. And if I ran over your driver and you're pissed about it, all power to you. Come up and say something. Like, nothing bad happens, but they're drunk and they're having fun and they're just, dude, like, you see them pounding beach balls and throwing blow-up dolls around and like that. We don't have that anywhere else. Like,
there ain't nothing like it.
It's so cool. Dude, I got last year that somebody knocked a beach ball down by me before we were going out to do like A-Main hot laps on Saturday. And I saw it and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I get to hit this back up into the grandstands and look like the hero." And they're like, "Gordy, we need the ball." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got it." And I just hammered this thing. And like, it starts back spinning, and I'm like, "Oh, if this doesn't go over into the grandstands, they're gonna boo the shit out of me." And some dude reached up and caught it, and they're like, "Yeah!" And I'm like, they have no idea that guy just saved my ass. Dude, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't. There's no experience like it. And I mean, I've said it before on here, but. Like, I've come off the racetrack and they've been cheering and going crazy, and I've drove off the racetrack and every fan is standing there just flipping me off. And I'm like, God, I love this place. Like, you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess it was Jack last year. Jack got into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were in the suite for it. So when the people started raising hell, shooting in the bird and shit, we were laughing our ass off. We're like, hell yeah. Damn it, Jack. Shit, we were shooting Jack the Ride. We didn't give a damn. We just shoot everybody the bird.
Yeah.
It is, dude. I honestly can't even wait to get back over there. No matter what happens. Yeah, it's gonna be cool and we're all gonna have fun and put this year behind us. That's what the Dome's for.
Yep. Well, I guess that's going to pretty much sum it up. And I can say one thing about you, Brandon. Thanks for coming on the show. Really, man. Yeah. Thanks a lot. The big thing too is, man, it's all going to work out for you. You know what I mean? You're too talented, and there's too many people out there that are in your corner. So
hey, if it doesn't, I could use a crew chief.
That's right. Yeah, I might slow you down.
It's all going to work out, man.
No, for sure.
It's all going to work out. Put this year behind you and move on.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, I don't even have to say it, but we know that you're one of the best that's in this
absolutely
game. And it's it's not even a question mark on that if you are not. And you know, the problem is you're probably going to hit on something and bust all of our asses, and then we'll all be forgetting about this year in no time. So
That's what I just keep telling myself. Like, you just gotta. Everybody we see it, right? We've seen JD have his bad years. We've seen him. You know, everybody has them. Like, it is what it is. It's gonna happen. You ain't gonna be on top all the time. So, yeah, we just want to. I just gonna get back going, man. That's all you can do. Keep hammering it till we do something good.
that's right.
You want to thank anybody?
Yeah, thank them all. Thank them all. Thanks, Scott Riggs and Arpin and everybody at Longhorn, and yeah, all of our sponsors that help us get up and down the road every week. Like I said, I think it's just a year everybody wants to put behind us and start fresh.
Yep.
All right,
bro.
man.
Well, we'll see you next week, and
Yep.
I'm coming down to your rig. Make sure you got plenty.
We got the Budweiser. Yep. Y'all come.
You'll have plenty of them. So, and if not, I promise you, I'm gonna have plenty too.
That's right. Well, I thank y'all for having me on, boys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
Y'all too. See you.
Take care.